Can you believe the season is almost here? Cowboys and Coffee is ready, baby. We're ready. And we got our guest on, our cousin John Pinto. John, welcome to the
Hello.
show. Unfortunately, Eagles fan, not everyone could be perfect, but we all
I don't
know.
know. I seems a little delusional about the Cowboys fans, but
What are you going to say? What are you going to say? D, I'm glad you're here. You're shouting out to somebody this week. Yeah.
Listen, we always do it at the end. We're going to do it at the beginning. Family, outside family, Dawn Edwards at school, big Eagles fan. And what a good co-worker she is. She's like, it's like when you have chili, this little
go
spice, you have it
birds.
in the chili. That's Dawn Edwards. She's a big Eagles fan, goes crazy every week. So we gave a shout out to her today at the beginning for her. Go.
Great, Don. Go home. No, I'm just kidding. That's great. It's all good. All right, we're shouting out Don Edwards. That's awesome.
Mhm.
We'll chat more at the end about that. Um, I'm gonna start with coffee because I've been sipping my coffee here. It's my afternoon coffee. I need one today. The two little ones were keeping me up last night, man. They were killing me. But John, how do you drink your coffee?
Mm. So I'm more of an energy drink person, but
Okay,
black coffee.
black coffee. I respect that.
Yeah, if I do it, I just drink it quick and it's just whatever gets me out the door.
Now, my dad's gonna sit here and lie and say he likes black coffee when the reality is he would prefer an affogato from Italy any day of the week. That's all I heard when he came back from Italy was the ice cream
Oh, yeah.
recipe. So that's his cup of
Yeah.
choice. I mean, if
Yeah.
we that's the reality. Listen, I get it.
Yeah.
Affogato over ice cream. It tastes good, man. I don't
Beautiful.
disrespect. There's always you can get something crazy like espresso and lemonade, which I think is disgusting. But a little honey cinnamon, a little brown butter, a little salted maple. Throw a little flaky salt with some maple syrup in your coffee, and it'd be something different. But we're Cowboys and coffee, so we talk some coffee first. I,
Yes.
I'll drink whatever. I'll drink it black. I'll drink it light.
Yeah.
I'll drink whatever's in front of me. I'm not a snob, but I am how do I say this? A coffee aficionado. So
I
that's
got what
what
you
I
mean.
would say. So that's all. Listen, let's talk Cowboys. Let's talk Eagles. Let's talk 2026, 2027. My 2026, almanac is going to drop here in the next week or so, where I pick every game, every team, give you a breakdown on everybody. I have the Eagles going 10-7, making the playoffs, I believe, at 10-7. And I want to know, John, where are you at with your Eagles going into the season? You lost AJ Brown. Makai Lemon has been injured the offseason. I want to steal your thunder, but where are you feeling? What are you feeling for the Eagles going into this season?
It's Philadelphia sports, so there's always depression surrounded by it. You know what I mean? First game I ever remember watching is when the Eagles lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So yeah, it was a great start of the relationship. I have hopes for them. I got them going about the same, like 10 and 11. I mean 10 and 11, sorry. 10 and 7, 11 and 6, something like that.
Mhm.
Wide receiver, I definitely do feel a little bit more since we lost AJ. Now Devontae got to step up and we'll actually see if he can be that number one, which he has shown that he can be. So we're hoping for it, hoping we get back to the Super Bowl playoffs, keep pushing. But as I always say, we go 17 and 0 until we lose one game.
That's fair. Listen, Devontae without AJ Brown, 87 catches, 1,200 yards, six touchdowns in not 17 games, in 21 games. So
Yeah,
he's going to have to step up a little bit more than what he's done previously. And, he's going to get the number one targets full season. So, it's on Jalen, it's on this coaching staff. And I think, right, Sean Mannion, I think you're going to trust a little more an offensive coordinator than that terrorist who was running the offense last year. So,
exactly.
that's definitely it. D, where are you with the Eagles going into this season? I know you're behind a little bit on the Wi-Fi, but just run with it when you got it.
Well, it's a new offense, and that quarterback's going to be under center. little bit more. That is a big adjustment. It's a big adjustment because he has to get on the center, take the steps, read the defense. It's added to his game. And the play calling, it will be solid. But the small stuff is what you win or lose in the game. I still think they're a 10 to 11 team because there's still a lot of players. That defense is still good. Now they're going to drop a little bit in number wise. The games won't be as impressive, but it's on Hurts this year. The head coach, you can replace him easy. That's no big deal. But Hurts, your quarterback, he's got it. Is he going to get those little cheap touchdowns like he used to? Are they going to keep that tuck, push, 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 tuck? Are they going to keep that part of the offense? Or are they taking it out? Now, if they take it out, that means the ball's going somewhere else to the running back. So you're going to find out that the third downs and ones and fourth and ones in the backfield instead of up there. Will that continue?
Listen,
So
I don't
that's
mind.
where I'm at.
I
They're
don't mind
10
it.
and 11. They're still good.
Yeah, I don't mind. People get mad about the tush push. I don't. There doesn't shouldn't be a problem that they run the tush push if they officiate it correctly with the lineman ahead of the football or moving before the football. If they call it fairly, the play gets naturally nerfed a little bit. But I still think, goal line yardage. I still would, if I'm an Eagles fan, you're still going to give the ball to Saquon and to run it in. So it's not like not a huge drop off, but it does change what they're doing, and it should change. Just all we ask, I don't care if they run the play. All I ask is that officials officiate it clearly. If an offensive lineman is past the football, just call an infraction, a neutral zone infraction. If they're moving before the football, which we've seen them do multiple times, call a false start, whatever it is. I think the big question mark is what do they get out of wide receiver two? Dontavion Wicks, Makai Lemon, because we know Dallas has 1A, 1B. They've got two number ones in Pickens and Lamb. And Ryan Flournoy is like legit wide receiver three. And they've got, guys in camp who are showing what else they can do. I mean, listen, Jonathan Mingo's had a good camp. Camden Brown's had a good camp as wide receivers. So, I feel very comfortable with the Cowboys wide receiver options. I'm good. What does Dallas Goedert have a year where he's not just scoring touchdowns, but he's actually putting up yardage and receptions again, like he did a few years ago? Makai Lemon has been injured. It's not easy to miss all the preseason and come with a hamstring injury and then come and play. Like Odell Beckham is like one of one. And Dontavion Wicks had a okay career last year he had 30 catches for 300 yards and two touchdowns. So, we're talking okay at best. So that's, I think, would be another big concern. Jalen is Jalen, and he's a hard worker and a great guy. So, John, where are you with the wide receiving options, tight ends, Saquon on the backfield? How are you feeling besides Devontae?
I'm hoping Goddard put up the numbers like he did a couple of years ago. And I'm hoping Saquon gets back to what he was when we actually went to the Super Bowl that year. That's a lot to ask because that was historical that year. Well, almost historical. It was right there. He killed it. But just something like that. The receiving core is the weakest. I feel like that's like the biggest questions, red flags there. Because you don't know because Devontae still, he's small. He can get injured. Lemon, he's got a hamstring injury already. And it's just like, are they going to start falling like flies? Is everybody going to get hurt? And then what are we going to do? Just scrambling, trying to make trades or try to find something in free agency and hope for the best?
Right, right. And, Jonathan Greenard has been out. It was a big pickup
Yeah.
getting him. He's been out the preseason as well. So injuries have started to pile up a little bit. Lane Johnson's older. This is his last rodeo. Um, again, this is not I would be shocked if this is a bad team. I'll be shocked if they're
Yeah.
not an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 win team. If they're below 9 wins, I think it's a disaster. And I
I
don't think their
agree.
head coach makes it out of the end of the year. But I don't see that. I don't see that as a realistic calendar year. They play Washington to start, who apparently their offensive line. You want to talk about bad? They're really bad.
Yeah, they're terrible.
And you get Tennessee week 2, which is not good. You get Chicago, okay, good game. The Rams, okay. Jacksonville, and then Carolina. So, at worst, I see them 3-3. That's worst case scenario.
That's I agree. I agree with you 100%.
And you still have 2 games against New York and Washington. That's 6 wins right there.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the interesting thing. I'm not counting Tennessee as a good team yet, but the other teams, how well is Hurts going to do? Because the ball's going to be in his hands.
Hmm.
That's what the ball's going to be. Are they going to run it down the rest of those guys' throat with Barkley? I don't think so. And that's why this new offense, are they going to stay on the center a little bit more or get out of that shotgun? Because out of the center spot, third down, they're going to go to shotgun. But the first 2 downs, so you get third and longs, that's where the player production versus calling plays is a big difference there without
Yeah.
AJ Brown there.
Now,
Yeah.
now, now, so interesting. I saw this the other day. Steve Young, Hall of Famer, right? MVP, great quarterback, never took one snap in his entire career out of the shotgun. His entire
Really?
career was under center, every
Yeah.
single snap. So I know it's the modern NFL, but if you could say, listen, Jalen, you can throw the ball around. And yes, he was throwing to Jerry Rice, he was throwing to T.O. I understand. I understand that. But if you said, listen, a mobile quarterback who can run, who can move out of the pocket, like, and again, not everyone could be Steve Young, but if I wanted to model Jalen's game after someone in the pocket, that's what I would say. I would say, we want you to play like a right-handed Steve Young. Let's get you on the move. Let's get you running. You can run with the football, right? You can pass the ball downfield. That's to me, that's the goal of who I'm trying to continue to develop Jalen Hurts to be, because these guys should be and are still developing.
Yeah.
Look what Dak Prescott has become as a passer in his career in the last couple of years that he's had. So Jalen he's one of the hardest workers in the NFL. He's an A-plus guy. So I think that this is someone who definitely, if anyone can do it, it'd probably be him. And then we go to the next step, which I want to come. Go ahead, D. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mm.
Let me hear it.
John, you've heard the rumors last year about Hurts and the offense.
Yeah.
Have you heard what went on there with the coordinator and all that kind of stuff? His
No,
input? Yeah. That's what you can't have this year.
I
Yeah.
agree 100%.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Like, that's what makes Hurt special, is like what Paul's saying about him getting out of the pocket. I think he can do that, but it's just everything else kind of got to get more squared away, I guess. You know what I mean?
That's right. Right.
That's it. Just like
Right.
dot your I's and cross your T's.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because players were not happy around him running the offense last year. It was on
Exactly.
him. It wasn't on the coordinator. They had game plans, and he did his own thing.
Right.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
what I mean, not do your own thing when it was 3rd and 6, he tucked and ran and got the first down. It didn't seem like back to the system and Hurts. Yeah.
Exactly.
So let me go over it. And I want to start to do a breakdown of these
Let
guys.
me ask you.
Go ahead, D. You go ahead first to say what you got to say. I'll wait on you. He's catching up because of
Your
what?
big D tackle signing an extension.
Oh, we're having some connectivity issues, but I'm pretty sure we're talking
There.
about
Yeah.
Jalen Carter. How do you feel about re-signing Jalen Carter to a big contract?
I'm happy
Happy
with it.
about that?
He's shown great signs, in my opinion. Hopefully, just keep on pushing in the right direction. I'm happy with that. I want us to kind of get more what's the dude's name? Jihad Campbell.
Yeah.
Because the first half of the season he did pretty good, and then he just like kind of they took him out of everything.
I'm very interested to see how that defense does without Christian Parker, who has
That
been
is true.
really the right hand of this defensive scheme, kind of helping connect the defensive coordinator to the actual the players and kind of making sure they're in the right position. You know, Zach, look what he did. Look what not just Christian Parker, but look what they brought out of Zach Bond. Like we're talking all pro level player. You know, can they still play at that level? Nolan Smith has to step up. You know, he had 3 sacks last
Yeah.
year. He needs to be better. Jalen Carter only had 3 sacks last year. And I know he's a D tackle, but I think he has more talent than that. You know, what does Campbell do? What is, you know, Jonathan Greenard he's a very good outside linebacker for this system. What can he do? You know, so what happens when you're missing? I mean, Greenard got hurt last year, but he's a 12 and a half sack guy before that. So he can play. So now that Christian Parker's gone, what happens? What happens there? So I'm Vic Fangio is still Vic Fangio. That hasn't stopped. But Christian Parker is now with the Cowboys defense, and we could see that in the preseason. Everyone said, "Oh, it's the preseason." They look competent now, which is all we're asking for. D, I want you to go, and then I'm going to go over to John about that. D, tell me about where you're at with the defense through the preseason and what you're feeling right now. And 3, 2, 1, go. There we go.
The games and watch the defense decide. They're assignment-based, team-based, communication-based. He's a chess master. That's what he is. You'll see 55 already and 57 coming into preseason games. They have their assignments. They do their assignments, and they are hungry to play together as a team defense. And that's what I saw preseason. Right. I've seen the theme already. Preseason. It's only preseason, but you see the coaching hands-on coaching.
We've seen in the past. Last year, the Cowboys defense was embarrassing when they scrimmaged against the Rams, and we're like, oh no, it's not going to be like that, but it was like that. And they're respectable, and they added the indomitable Von Miller, right? We've added Von Miller as a pass rush specialist. He doesn't need to be a 3-down D lineman anymore. He's not that player, but he can still. He had 8 sacks last year, and I'll take that. And I am feeling good about that. And we'll see what his influence is on Malachi Lawrence and some of these other young players. I love Jayshawn Barham. What we've gotten from him so far, that guy, I love him. He's like, you know what? I hate every team. I don't like the other teams. I hate every single team I play. I'm like, thank God, this is what we've been asking for. I want someone to hate losing. I want someone to hate these other teams. I want someone to go out. Caleb Downs made a great pick in the ones versus ones yesterday and got out firing, kicked the ball the other end of the field because they're fired up. And that's what I want, and what's great? I've seen that from the Eagles. They are competitive. They want to win. And that's what I think that's one of their strengths is they have a lot of really competitive guys. And you want to mimic good organizations, and they've obviously been a good organization. So, that's what I appreciate about the Eagles. I do think they have a harder schedule than the Cowboys because they had a better finish than the Cowboys. So that might be the tipping point for each team. Is there anything, John, that would worry you as an Eagle fan for facing the Cowboys, say in the regular season, right? And they're because there were some good games last year between the two.
There was some good games, and usually we split them either way you look at it. It's always usually 1-1 how it goes. Your defense is going to take a step up definitely with him now being there. You know what I mean? Hopefully they get how the Eagles are more smash mouth. They got grittier. They're they're ready for it. And that's what the Cowboys need. And I think if they get that, that's when they'll be a little more scarier. That's when it'll be a little more scarier in my opinion.
Roger that. Roger that. D, if there was one player from the Eagles you could take right now and put him on the Cowboys, who would it be? Who would it be? What position? I know you're gonna come through in a second. For me, it might be Quinyon Mitchell to start at cornerback. Go ahead, D.
This is the other white boy corner who could turn to safety.
Cooper DeJean. Yeah.
Cooper
Yeah.
the Gene is not a
Cooper
safety.
DeJean.
Sorry, that
He's
song stuck in my
nasty.
head. Yeah, he
He
is.
reminds me of me. He reminds me of me.
and John, John, let me slip over to you. If there's a Cowboys player you could steal right now, just drop to the Eagles, what player would you be taking
Yeah,
over?
that's it. That's how I take him.
CD Lamb.
Take him tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think that kind of speaks to where we're at both sides. That the Cowboys could use that secondary, some sureness in the secondary. We think we've got guys. We believe that they can do it, but having someone who can do it is different. And I think with the Eagles, the same thing. Having another certified number one there with
exactly.
Devontae would make them, the next level. I don't finding those wide receivers. That's why it was tough for me to let AJ go. I know there was internal stuff going on or whatever, but letting him go hurts because it's tough to find wide receiver one.
It
Right?
really is.
I'd like to believe that Makai is wide receiver one or a number two, and Devontae takes a step to be a wide receiver one. But it's easier said than done. And when you have him, it's tough to let him walk out the door.
Exactly. That was the biggest hit of the offseason, I feels like, in my opinion, was AJ. Like it was the even on offense, even though if he wasn't getting the ball, eyes was all on him. Other players would be open because he was getting doubled or he was getting covered and everybody thought it was going to him.
Yeah. D, tell me where you have the Eagles. Like, are they playoffs, short of the playoffs, division round, NFC championship, Super Bowl contenders? How far will the Eagles go? And then I want to swing back on the Cowboys and where they're going to. You'll come through in a second. So I have the Eagles at 10-7, and I believe I have them statistically just missing the playoffs with a tie at 10-7, but that's, with the Packers who are 10-7, and I think I have San Francisco at 11-6, but injuries are killing that prediction right now, man. Injuries are
Oh, I have a friend that's a San Francisco fan, and I'm just like, what is going on there?
that the power station, man, the curse of the power station.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? Everybody's falling off.
D, if you could hear us, give me a talk what you think for the Eagles and the Cowboys in relation to the Eagles. Go ahead. If you can hear me, run with it. If not, just no worries. We'll figure it out.
Cowboys, the Eagles will make the playoffs. They're a good team, but they'll get knocked out in the first round because I don't think that they're better than a second round playoff team. I think they get in and get beat. Now, if they get to host that gives them better percentage of winning. But if they go on the road, I don't like them in the playoffs for going on the road first round. I think they
Yeah,
make the playoffs
yeah,
because the Giants are not any good, and the Commodores, Conquistadors, they're not any good. That's why.
yeah. I
So
think
there you go.
I think the Cowboys and the Eagles should be able to rack up at least 3 wins against Giants and Washington, the Commanders. So that gives you 3 divisional wins, and then you split. If you split with each other, you each go 4-2. That's a great start, with another 13 games to go. If you can sweep the other two teams and say, okay, 5-1 in a division, that puts you in a huge advantage against someone like Green Bay, who's going to be in a tough division, like San Francisco, who's in a difficult division, or the Bears or whoever, like these teams, they'll have to fight each other. The Rams, the Seahawks, the 49ers. That's if you're one of those teams, you got 4 games, they're difficult. Green Bay, the Bears, the Lions,
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, if Kyler plays better, though, they're going to be beating each other up. So you stack 4 wins against the Commanders, I think will be not good this year because I just don't trust an offensive line. And I think the Giants might be better than they were last year, but still not in the Cowboys and Eagles tier. So I think they'll be improved, but not super great. So yeah, I'm not super sold on where those two teams will be. So I absolutely think I made this predictions weeks ago and put it in, and now I'm looking back saying, but that's what you got to do, man. You make the decisions what you got. So I'm intrigued with
Mhm.
what it is.
Mhm.
John, where will the Eagles end up this year?
Definitely in the playoffs. I, if we host a game, I definitely feel confident. Round one, we're gonna win it. Round two, that's where it gets tricky. And it's can when we fall off, is like the offense going to be how it was? Like we won games, but it was ugly. Is that how it's going to be? Is that how it's going to be again? Because it can't be like that and us win still that deep into it. Hoping playoffs. I mean, playoffs definitely. Hopefully second round, but I can see first round and out.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is they got some lucky wins last year. And you know what? Wins count as wins.
Yeah.
Like who cares, right? That the Rams win was but my point is not that it shouldn't count as a win. It does. And they won the game, and that's what happens. But my point is that there is regression sometimes. Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way year after year,
Exactly.
and that makes it difficult, like turnovers, blocked field goals. Those things are hard to replicate year after year after year. So if you don't get that, you're like, oh, wow, this could be not as great as we thought. And again, it only takes one or two games here or there to go from hosting as a 3 seed or a 2 seed to, you're right, 11-5, or say 12-5 versus 10-6 goes from hosting as the 2 seed or a 3 seed to visiting, as a 6 seed.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't know
Exactly.
about that. So let me ask you guys, better quarterback, Jalen Hurts or Dak Prescott? John, you first. D, you're going to warm up in a second. Better quarterback.
Hurts. My opinion is always Hurts is better than Dakota. I don't call
D,
him Dak. I call him Dakota. I can't give it. I can't give it to Dak.
D, what do you got? Better quarterback here. You're going to come through in a second.
That's a good one. Yeah. Listen, I see Dak's numbers. You got a Super Bowl win underneath your belt, but Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. So, but Dak Prescott, his quarterbacking ability to throw the football, run an offense, all of it, make everybody better. I'm a Prescott fan. I also like Hurts as well, but I think he is overrated. I think, despite of that offensive line, and listen, Emmitt Smith reputation was on the offensive line, and we always defend Emmett. But Emmett was good without an offensive line in Florida.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So,
And I
but
will say,
I'm a Prescott. Yeah.
I will agree with you for the point that somewhat of Jalen Hurts, like he's overhyped. Great quarterback, like great mobile
Yeah.
quarterback. You know what I mean? But he's not top 10. He's not there. If he improves, he can get, but like his numbers just ain't there. I do agree. I'm a Dakota hater. So I've never liked Dakota since he came in the league.
So I think Jalen is more on the hot seat than Dak, and here's why. The Cowboys are not getting rid of Dak. That's the primary reason. No matter what that people are like, oh, Dak's never won anything. That we understand that. Like, if anyone knows that, it's Cowboys fans. He hasn't won. He hasn't been to an NFC Championship game. We get that. But the front office loves Dak, and he has a
Mhm.
contract that is not going to. They're not going to move on from. We've seen the Eagles be proactive, and like they got rid of Carson Wentz and got
Yeah.
Jalen early, drafted Jalen, and they know how to use their draft picks. Eagles 2027 draft picks, and um, they have the ability to make moves. But if anyone does, it's them. So, they are the people who will say, you know what, we'll do what we have to do. We'll trade who we have to trade. We will get whatever. They have an extra third round pick next year. And they've got stuff where I don't have any doubt that they could do what they want to. If they really wanted a quarterback from this draft, they would do it. They would do that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And like Philadelphia, the fans up here, they're crazy fans. And then there's crazier fans. And it's just like it's everybody pushing at them. Jalen Hurts is on the hot seat. I do agree he's on the hot seat more than Dak is. I do agree with that. But I like the guy. I like Carson Wentz too, but we got rid of him and we moved on to Jalen Hurts and it went better. So if that's the case, and Howie we trust, and we just keep pushing.
Right, because AJ, right, they got I think a fifth this year, but a first in 2028, which means if they wanted to move on from Jalen, there would be there would be six, seven teams who would immediately offer a first round pick for Jalen. I think
Absolutely.
in a second. There's Arizona, the Jets, right? The bunch of teams would offer a first rounder for Jalen
Yeah.
Hurts. And you could either take the pick and draft a quarterback. The Cleveland Browns, right, would take Jalen Hurts. They would probably sacrifice their firstborn for Jalen Hurts. So, right, Cleveland would take him in a second, even let's say a second round pick. And if I'm
Yeah.
the Eagles and say, okay, let's say they finish the 20th overall pick, you offer 20 this year, a second rounder this year, and your extra first rounder in 2028, and you can move up to get your franchise QB. That's why I think Jalen's more on the hot seat, even if you were to say he's a better quarterback, and I don't really have a problem with
Yeah.
that. I still say, you know what? He could still be out sooner rather than later.
I agree with you. The Cowboy do does love Dakota. Like he ain't going nowhere. He's gonna retire a Cowboy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Hurts, it's just like I would love for him to retire Eagle, but is he? Who knows?
it's a great question. D, what do you got here?
Well, they don't have they haven't signed into an extension.
Right.
Oh yeah, you are right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So he signed it.
No
It runs through
extension. So
2028 years. So he's
I
got
don't know that.
26, 27, 28. But after, so really it would be after next year they would let him go because next year his cap hits 42 million. But after that, they could really get off the hook and
Okay,
spread
so
out.
that's what it is. Okay,
But yeah, so after
so he's on 2 more years.
right. But if anyone has the
Okay,
capital, even so, going into 2028, you still have two. If you go through
that's
another
different.
season, you still have two first round picks in 2028, where maybe it's not after this season, but it could be after next season and still make that move. So, yeah, I don't think Dak leaves before then either. So, listen, we've got 3 minutes left. Let's wrap it up real quick. We'd like to do shout outs. You already shouted someone out earlier. John, you want to shout out anybody positively here to end the episode?
I love that one positively. Um, yeah, the people that put up with me at the gas station. We'll say those people.
Respect
I
that.
show up in my leopard robe, playing music all the way loud. They just look at me. They're like, "Here's your cigarettes. Go, leave now."
No,
D, you had your people, so that's good. I'm shouting out my brother Spencer.
yeah. Go ahead.
Spen, he's down in San Antonio with his wife in the Navy and his four beautiful girls, my four beautiful nieces, four of my five beautiful nieces. But yeah, miss you, Spen, and we chat all the time. We connect and everything.
Oh
So
yeah, I'm sorry. You just reminded me. Can I shout out one more person?
of course,
I'm sorry. My nephew that was born yesterday.
let's go.
Max.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I completely
Yeah,
forgot
go
about him for
ahead.
a second.
Let's go. All right, D,
Yeah.
anything else to say before we close out? Got you here. We got just about 2 minutes.
Um, yeah. How about them Red Sox? John,
Fire.
you're a Red Sox fan, aren't you?
No, I'm a Phillies fan. 4-4 Philadelphia. Depression all the way around, I tell you.
Heavens.
You're a Phillies too with that.
It's been good for them.
Yeah.
It's been quite a year for them. So
Yeah, I'm happy with it. You know, like
Yeah.
my oldest is starting to get into it a
Yeah.
little bit, and he's like, "Well, so good right now." I'm like,
yeah,
"Just wait,
let's
it
go.
comes, it comes."
Listen, thank
Yeah.
you guys for coming on. Thanks for doing this episode. Everybody, you can find us Cowboys and Coffee Podcast. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on Apple iTunes. You'll find us anywhere. We're under Designated Reporting. Keep an eye out for my 2026, the Revs 2026 almanac on everything that will come out this season. Everything is correct. I've got NFL top 100 players, my top 100 coaching hot seats, everything, award show, award picks, everything that's going to happen. Don't you worry. Everything is 100% correct. You can find it on Desert Report coming out soon. Guys, I'll catch you later. Thanks so much. Go
Thanks for having me.
Cowboys.
Go Birds.
Cry Eagles cry.
All right,
Fly,
we're gonna
Eagles, fly. Bye.
go.